Most people think electricity matters most in a crisis, but the human body fails much faster without clean water, and that truth catches people unprepared. Modern life makes water feel permanent because it flows so easily every day, which hides how fragile the system really is. Water systems depend on electricity, chemicals, pressure and infrastructure, and when one part fails the entire supply can stop suddenly. History shows civilizations collapsed not from lack of technology but from losing reliable access to water, and this pattern repeats across continents and centuries. Ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley and parts of China all faced droughts that challenged populations, and those who failed to plan ahead suffered greatly while others survived. When water access is disrupted, people panic quickly because water is not optional and survival becomes uncertain. Even short shortages can trigger social unrest and chaos. Most homes prepare food, lights and batteries, but very few have enough water to last beyond a short emergency, and this gap is rarely recognized until a crisis hits. By the time warnings appear or restrictions begin, the chance to prepare calmly has already passed, and reactive measures are often ineffective or impossible. Preparation is not about fear but about removing panic before it starts, and learning from historical patterns can save lives and prevent unnecessary suffering. People who prepare early stay calm while others rush and react too late, and understanding the consequences of inaction is critical for survival. Ancient societies understood water security and treated it as sacred, essential and worth protecting, and their methods were simple yet highly effective in sustaining populations. They stored water, planned ahead and survived droughts while others suffered, and these lessons remain relevant for anyone considering long-term survival. One ancient story carries an important lesson about preparation before crisis, and it is the story of Joseph, who anticipated famine and acted during years of abundance. Joseph prepared while others lived normally without concern, and built stores and plans to sustain populations and communities when scarcity arrived. When famine arrived, those who prepared did not panic because they had foresight and infrastructure in place to manage the shortage and protect lives. That lesson still applies because human needs have not changed, and water remains the foundation of survival for all people in all circumstances. Technology did not replace preparation, it only made people forget how vulnerable systems are, and modern conveniences can create a false sense of security that is dangerous in emergencies. Water shortages are no longer distant events, they are happening closer and more often, and awareness is critical for personal preparedness and planning. Droughts, power outages, contamination and infrastructure failures all reveal the same weakness that many take for granted, and society often ignores warning signs until it is too late. There is usually no backup, no buffer and no long-term plan, leaving individuals at high risk in emergency scenarios where access to clean water can determine life or death. Without preparation, fear fills the gap and decisions get worse, and the difference between life and suffering can be minimal but critical. In the first few days of scarcity, calm comes from knowing you are ready before problems appear, and this requires understanding risks, planning practical solutions and taking action ahead of time while researching long-term preparedness. One pattern kept appearing again and again across cultures and crises, showing the effectiveness of simple low-tech principles. The most reliable methods were simple, low-tech and based on old principles that work without electricity or complex supply chains and could adapt to multiple environments and challenges. They did not rely on electricity supply chains or constant maintenance and could survive systemic failures that modern systems cannot withstand for long periods. They were designed to work even when modern systems fail, and have stood the test of time through repeated hardships, demonstrating the value of foresight and practicality. One approach stood out because it focused on long-term access to water, not bottled water stacked temporarily but sustainable, usable supply that can last through months of scarcity and emergency situations. What made it interesting was how old the idea really was, showing that humans have faced and solved these problems for millennia, and the methods are rooted in proven practice. This was not a new invention but a rediscovered method that carries lessons from history into modern survival situations, providing actionable knowledge for today. When ideas survive centuries, they often survive crises too, proving that simplicity and foresight are more powerful than technology alone and more reliable than modern convenience. This approach is not for convenience or instant solutions but for people who want to understand preparation before they need it and value knowledge and foresight over panic and impulsive action. Most people only think about water after it becomes a problem, and that delay often causes avoidable suffering and missed opportunities to secure necessary resources. Those who think earlier avoid panic later and gain confidence in their ability to survive, adapt and protect their families and communities in difficult situations. Understanding the fragility of water systems, the history of scarcity and methods to store and protect water is essential knowledge in today's uncertain world where unexpected events can occur at any time. Learning from past mistakes, recognizing vulnerabilities and implementing simple but effective methods can make the difference in a real crisis and reduce the risk of serious consequences. Preparation requires foresight, patience and action, and understanding the context of scarcity allows informed decisions to protect oneself and family and maintain security during shortages. Water is more than a commodity, it is a fundamental need, and respecting that fact is the foundation of all survival planning and long-term resilience. By studying historical collapses, near misses and successful adaptations, we gain insight into what works and what fails during shortages, providing guidance for modern preparedness. Practical methods such as underground storage cisterns, rainwater collection, and safe purification techniques are examples of strategies that have endured and can be adapted for contemporary use. The lesson is clear: the sooner preparation begins, the more options and security are available, and waiting until a crisis reduces choices dramatically, increasing stress and risk. Understanding water scarcity and the risks involved empowers individuals to act proactively rather than reactively, ensuring calm decision-making and reducing panic when emergencies arise. Preparing water supplies in advance allows families to maintain health, safety, and stability in unpredictable situations and gives confidence that basic needs are covered. Taking small, consistent actions such as learning purification methods, storing water properly, and planning access points builds resilience over time and avoids last-minute desperation. It is not about fear but about control, understanding, and empowerment, ensuring that individuals can handle scarcity without being overwhelmed by circumstances. Water is the foundation of all survival efforts, and ensuring its availability before crisis creates a solid base for addressing other needs such as food, energy, and shelter. Learning from historical examples and implementing tested strategies allows for informed decisions that reduce risk and increase the probability of survival in emergency situations. The goal is to move from ignorance and vulnerability to preparedness and confidence, ensuring that individuals are ready before disaster strikes and can manage effectively under stress. If you want to understand how people prepare water before emergencies begin and implement strategies that actually work, you can explore detailed guides that explain step-by-step solutions that have historical and practical support and help maintain safety.